Hellblade 2 is exactly what I was hoping for in terms of a sequel. It feels more like an actual video game, like a cinematic, narratively driven experience. And Senua actually feels like a proper protagonist in her own story. And dare I say, even her illness kind of takes on a character of its own here, feeling a lot more a part of her in some aspects, or kind of like a companion to her, I guess you could say, as opposed to the narrating middleman um, between her and us as the players that I felt in the first game. Um, and that is, of course, all very, very cool. I think the major kind of talking points with this one is, of course, um, is it real? Was everything that we experienced as it unfolded in the story actually happening? And I feel myself kind of leaning more towards the camp of no. Very similar to the first game, it's all happening up here. It's all psychological and purely metaphorical. And I know the hard counter to that has been, well, yeah, but what about all the giants and stuff? You know, we're not dealing with just Senua this time around. These are random people that she has never met that are seeing the things that she is seeing. So, to at least some extent, it's got to be real, right? Well, think of it this way: Senua arrived to a land that has been ravaged by natural disasters and just all around negative things. And as a society, they are kind of in the throes of dealing with the aftermath. You know, death and starvation and you know, trauma and what have you, right? So I'm kind of viewing this as a group psychosis experience. And, you know, what's the next step? Where do you go after you have your protagonist who has overcome her own limitations and kind of conquered her own situation to now be able to see it as a tool or dare I say even a gift, um, as opposed to this curse. Well, I think naturally you want to put that character in a more leadership type of role, to where she can act as a beacon of hope and strength to people that are going through similar circumstances. And I feel like that's furthered when we look at the motivations of the primary antagonist of the game and how he is very much so taking advantage of a populace who is utterly shattered, both mentally and emotionally, in order to sustain his power or his stranglehold over them. And then you throw all the giant stuff into the mix. Um, and, you know, as a culture, giants are revered very similarly to the gods, if I'm not mistaken. Like, they're a big deal. They're a big part of their mythology and their folklore and whatnot. So essentially, this is their, religion. This is very serious to them. And he's taking part of their core belief system and twisting it in such a way that he's able to say, if y'all don't fall in line and do exactly as I tell you, um, and so we can maintain peace with these giants, we're all screwed, doom and gloom and what have you. It'll bring about the end of the world if we don't play ball with these giants exactly how I'm telling you to do it. And um, you know, initially it sounds very cult-like, but I definitely don't think it would be a stretch to look at kind of the fragile state that this group of people are in and go, I can see how they would be pushed into believing that. And of course, from his perspective, it also serves as a very convenient excuse to just go out and do the Viking thing of sailing off into um, distant lands and bringing back riches and slaves and things of that nature. So that kind of works to his benefit as well. Um, I don't know. I said that if I was to rate the first one, I would have given it somewhere between a 5 and a 6. And I think if I was to do the same with Hellblade 2, it would probably land somewhere between a 6 and a 7. Certainly a step up from the original. Lots to like here. Lots to like about the first one too. I like both these games. They're just not ones that I'm screaming about from mountaintops, and I'm not even sure that I would recommend them unless somebody was looking for that specific type of experience, or maybe was into mythology or something like that. Um, but with that all being said, I will say that I am very curious to see um, what they're going to do with Senua's character now. Is she going to stay behind enemy lines, so to speak, and be a leader to these people and kind of be the figure responsible for bridging the gap between those two nations? Or is she going to return home to her native land as the person that has gone there and been able to live to tell the tale and focus on something else? I don't know, but I am looking forward to finding out. But that's going to wrap this review up for us, guys. And as always, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you in the next video.